All right, moving forward. Rule number 6. Each participant must come to a dialogue with no hard, fast assumptions as to where points of disagreement are. No assumptions. So this rule could be hard because we are constantly influenced by the news, social media, our colleagues and our friends, our family, on how we ought to think of the people who fit certain labels, categories, or stereotypes. We naturally lump people into various groupings and make assumptions about these groups because of what we have been told or even what we experience. So I just want you to think for a minute. Is there any trait, quality, label, stereotype, grouping, definition? See, this is why Rule 5 is such an interesting one, that you use to define yourself or others have used to define you, but it actually has some type of subtext, context, some type of other definition that doesn't fit you. Have you ever been or have you ever had assumptions made about you because of what you look like, what you do, what your interests are, how you talk, any of these things? And I guarantee you, every single student, every single person should be able to say, yeah, they have had that. And they've had that either just because this other person has some type of prejudice or might be racist or ageist or any number classist, or because we hear these things about this category of people from the internet, from the news. So your challenge is to figure out, how is it easy to follow this? How does it become, or why does it become easy to let go of those assumptions? And then why is it important to follow this rule? All right, Rule 7. Dialogue can take place only between equals. All right, so think of equals as being fair or just. It doesn't mean we have to be completely the same. There just is some way that we have to see this other person as equal to us in some way. So that thinking about that might help you think about how the rule is easy to follow, meaning it's easy in a dialogue to see that this other person I'm talking to, whether they believe the same as me or different than me, is in some sense equal. State why the rule is hard. And provided for you is what a previous student thought about why the rule is important. If we see the people we talk to as better or worse than us, the power dynamic can create a sense of fear, inadequacy, competition, or otherwise lead away from learning, empathy, and respect. This also can happen when in our studies we see what we are studying as better or worse than our own traditions. Not seeing the value in others can lead to forgetting that the superior can learn from the inferior. Rule 8. Dialogue can take place only on the basis of mutual trust. So this one, I provide for you why it's easy. If both participants are there to learn, Rule 1, and we can see that in some way we are equal, Rule 7, then trust is very easily built. Often I think it is easier to trust people than we first realize, as we are often more curious about that which we do not know. Trust gets built easily. It gets built by not making assumptions, by being able to know who we are and come together to create the definitions to understand that and speak with others. From coming in honesty and sincerity, from all of these rules we've previously looked at. So it should be pretty easy for you to figure out why this rule could be hard. I also want you to explain why the rule is important.